I'm reading Agatha Christie in order for the first time, specifically her Hercule Poirot series, and I'm bringing you along with me. I am absolutely eating up this series. I cannot get enough. I just finished book 8 last night and I'm about to jump into book 9 tomorrow. So I'm literally obsessed. That is where I'm at, just like feelings wise, but I'm really excited to jump into the first 5 titles of Hercule Poirot with you and give you my live rankings and keep going on my live updates as I read and enjoy and learn about her books. I have been slowly buying the physical books as I read them. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting the audio off of Libby or Audible, and then I am purchasing the books once I finish the title or like partway through the audio. But as I just grabbed all these titles off my shelves for this video, I realized I actually do not own the first book. So that was counterintuitive, but here we are. Like I said, this is a journey. You're on it with me. So I need to go pick up book 1 at some point. In this first video, I want to highlight the Agatha Christie reading tracker that really solidified this whole thing in my mind. Thinking about her entire collected works is so overwhelming for me. So I know it is for you too. I had originally read like a handful of one-offs of her books, and I decided to go ahead and start reading Hercule Poirot from book 1 in order all the way through. So as I do that, I am keeping up with all of her books and ranking them. I have loved having this, and it lists out every single title that she has published, specifically her books, in this reading tracker. So I will have this link below if you're interested in something like this and want to start on a very intense reading journey of your own for Agatha Christie. But until then, we're gonna go through books 1 through 5 of her Hercule Poirot series and see how they rank against each other. If you're tuning in for the very first time, my name is Paris, and this is my YouTube channel, Paris May Reads. I explain content in books all through biblical worldview, so you know exactly what you're getting before you pick up a title. Book 1 is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. This is her debut novel. It is also book 1 of her Hercule Poirot series, so we get to meet the fun little Belgian detective that this very long and involved series is about. And we also meet the narrator of the books, the majority of the Poirot books, and that is Captain Arthur Hastings. And he is a friend of the family. Hastings ends up basically following him around on all of his mysteries that take place going forward. This book has a quintessential country setting, poison, and it has the backdrop of the Great War, World War I as well. So I really loved all those elements working into play. I was able to pick up a few of the clues of this first book of hers and kind of figure out what I thought was going on, but she stumped me and ended up having no clue. There were so many little details that I missed. Like, it was so involved in the end, and all the little bits and bobs that she wrapped up was wild. I love that each book basically has Poirot withholding information from the reader, and at the end says this is how it happened. And he starts from the beginning, and he basically gives the reader the whole spiel of the timeline of everything and how it worked out and all the little details. And I love the reveal at the end of her novels. It is becoming my favorite part when I get to the very end and he reveals all of it. 'Cause I am usually wrong about 95% of what I thought was happening behind the scenes the entire time. And I gave this one a 4 stars. Book 2 is Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie. I actually had a friend give me this. She came across quite a few Agatha Christie titles, thought of me, gave them to me, was so kind of her, which is actually why I don't have book 1, because I thought I also had book 1 from her, but I don't. So this is book 2 in her Hercule Poirot series, and this actually takes place in France, and there was a lot of French language and words and names in this book, and it really just confused a lot of the details for me. So all of the French was hard to follow, but Richard Armitage did a fantastic job with the audio on this. So it's called Murder on the Links because the victim is found on a golf course. Hastings was in this novel again narrating, so we get to kind of get more of the dry humor that he and Poirot have with each other. Some of the banter starting to come into play, which I really love. Their relationship is the only reason so far why I really tolerate Hastings as a character. And this book was super fun to get to see that relationship evolve a little bit as the reader. I think because of the French aspect, I gave this a little bit lower rating, and I'm just ranking these based on the Agatha Christie books that I have read. So this one would fall into like the 3.75 or 4-star category for me for ranking. Book 3 is Poirot Investigates, and I had no clue starting this that it is actually a collection of short stories. I usually am not a short story reader. I don't necessarily enjoy them because I don't feel like I get enough character development. Having this immediately as book 3 actually adds so much character depth because you are seeing not only Poirot as a character and how he handles all these different types of murders and mysteries and thefts and everything like that, but also Christie as an author. The just imagination that she has. The mysteries in this are all so different. They're all so different and so unique. And I truly loved that. The 2 short stories that stood out to me the most in this book were The Kidnapped Prime Minister. This is like a high stakes, fast-paced mystery. And the whole time I was listening to it, again, I listened to the audio by Richard Armitage from Audible. The whole time I was listening to it, I was like, what is happening? It was so wild and so fun and so fast-paced. I was like, okay, Poirot's not just some like random detective who thinks he actually can figure out basically any murder in the English countryside. Like, he's actually a big deal. And he like actually knows what he's talking about. His little gray cells phrase that he uses all the time, like, they work. And the other short story that I really loved was The Adventure of the Egyptian Tomb. And Poirot and Hastings travel to Egypt, and Poirot in Egypt was a hoot. I mean, hilarious. He hates the heat. He hates the sand. He was just like the funniest caricature of himself, I felt like. And I absolutely loved that short story. So I'm really hoping Death on the Nile, which I've never read before, I just really hope it's filled with some fun, humorous Poirot circumstances that reflect the short story in this book. Now, this short story collection book and this reading tracker has really opened my eyes to the amount of short stories that she has in the Hercule Poirot series. I guess we will find out if there are any other titles in her Poirot series that are more collections of short stories. I think there's also a Hercule Poirot short stories book. I feel like I've seen it in Half Price Books before, so I should probably grab that next time I see it. So the 2 standout short stories in this book, I gave 4.5 stars, but all the other short stories I gave 4 stars. On to book 4, and that is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. This is probably the most highly recommended book that I had heard from people when I said I wanted to read more Hercule Poirot. Like, this book was suggested, and I understand why. If you are looking for a wild Hercule Poirot that you will not guess the ending of, like, I can't guess the ending anyway, but like, you won't. You won't get it on this one. The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is it. This is the first book where we don't have Hastings as the narrator. So we are actually following a murder in an English town, and we are following the town doctor. He is the one that is helping Hercule Poirot with this case. And I loved him as a narrator. I am not the biggest fan of Hastings, I'll be the first to tell you. And having a new narrator was a breath of fresh air for me. I just enjoyed the book so much more, like, by Hastings. So it was really fun to see Poirot in a new setting without Hastings, because so far the first 3 whole books of this series have been Hastings as a narrator. So this is the first time we see Poirot with someone else helping him along in the detective journey. I gave this one a 4.75 stars. I loved this title. I loved it. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's jump into book 5. Book 5 is called The Big Four, which I will admit, Christie, this is very confusing. Like, I would assume this is book 4 because it has the number 4 in the title, but it's not. This is book 5 called The Big Four. The Big Four is referencing 4 major key players around the globe that are pulling the strings of like crime and the black market and that type of thing. We see Hercule Poirot on an international stage, and we see him like boots on the ground figuring out how to catch these people. And what was fun about this book is that you eventually know who they are, but you don't know how Poirot is going to catch them. Hastings is back in this book, but I actually really liked his character in this one because of how the ending plays out. So you still don't know his plan. You still don't know all the details. There's still so much being held back from the reader, and I absolutely ate this one up. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. My quick takes on the Hercule Poirot series as a whole, because so far, all the books I've read, you can basically blanket them into my quick take categories. And I'd say the average star rating is like a 4 to 4.25 star rating. Language is mild and God's name in vain. Spice is none. And content is murder, themes of suicide, and extramarital affairs are the main things that I have seen so far for content. All of these 5 books were written in the 1920s, so I'm really excited to see how these early books stack up to her later books in the Poirot series that she wrote in like the 70s. And so that'll be a really fun thing that comes out of this series. So I'm really excited to do these live rankings. But so far, these are my top 2, The Big Four and The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. They are all interconnected standalone, so you do not have to start from book 1. So if you're wanting like the top of the top, cream of the crop, Hercule Poirot books, I highly recommend The Big Four and The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. This one is a 4.5 stars for me, and I gave this one a 4.75. So right now, these are my top 2 Hercule Poirot books that I would recommend to you. Coming next is going to be books 6 through 10. So I'm going to rank the next 5 books. Like I said, I am about to read book 9. So I have 2 books left until I film that video. I actually might vlog Murder on the Orient Express. That's the next one I have to read. It is book 9. And I've already read it. So I might do a vlog about rereading that book. It's been quite a few years since I've read that book. I think I read it in college. I don't remember any of the plot, any of the main characters. I have seen the movie, but again, I don't remember any of the details. So I'm excited to see if my opinion on that changes, if it holds up. Let me know in the comments if you have ever read Agatha Christie, if you've read some of her Hercule Poirot, if you've read some of her other series. I've read 2 of her standalones, And Then There Were None and Crooked House. And other than that, I've read some one-off Hercule Poirots, and I am so excited to keep going. I hope you continue to check in and join me. If you want to make sure you see all of these Hercule Poirot videos as I make them, you can subscribe to my page right here. And whenever I have my next video ready to go, I will have that here. But until then, you can check out this next video. And until next time, I hope all of your reads are 5 stars.